Imagine a kid who can dunk without jumping. A kid who made Shaq look small. A kid who, at 12, held the Guinness World Record as the tallest teenager. That's Olivier Rioux, standing at a staggering 7'9" and still growing. He isn't just the tallest basketball player on earth, he might end up being the tallest to ever play the game. However, with that kind of size comes immense hype and even more risk. This isn't just another tall tale, this is the story of the tallest prospect basketball has ever seen. A young man who could fundamentally change the sport forever, or become its biggest what if. We'll dive deep into his origins, his meteoric rise, the elite training shaping him, his national team performances, and the immense challenges that come with being a true giant in an evolving game. Let's get into it. Olivier Rioux was born on February 2, 2006, in Terrebonne, a suburb tucked just outside of Montreal, Canada, in a place where hockey isn't just a sport, but a birthright. Rioux was built for something entirely different. While most kids were lacing up skates and learning how to check, Rioux was busy outgrowing everything. By the time he turned 10, he wasn't just too tall for amateur hockey, he was already 3 inches taller than any player in the NHL today. And that was just the beginning. His growth wasn't gradual, it was volcanic. According to Guinness World Records, he was born at a normal 7.5 pounds. 1 month later, he weighed 16 pounds. That's more than double in 30 days. Not a growth spurt, a growth eruption. In kindergarten, he stood 5'2". That's taller than most high school point guards. By 8, he was 6'1", and at 12, he hit 7 feet flat. At an age when most kids are still learning how to shoot a proper jump shot, Rioux was making 6'9" LeBron James look undersized. Basketball didn't just find him, it needed him. So, he started playing at age 5, towering over the other kids so dramatically that opposing coaches regularly questioned whether he was even eligible to play. But when you take a closer look at his family, it starts to make sense. Olivier didn't just win the height lottery, he was born into it. His father, Jean-Francois, is 6'8" and works as a photographer, probably one of the only guys in his profession who doesn't need a ladder to get a bird's eye shot. His mum, Anne, is a former competitive volleyball player, standing 6'2", and his older brother, a 6'9" ex-basketball player, with the frame of a D1 forward. This wasn't just a tall family, it was a blueprint for vertical dominance. And more than just tall, they were athletes. From a young age, Rioux was surrounded by sports, discipline, and a support system that turned physical tools into basketball instincts. The mix of elite genetics and a high-level environment shaped him into more than a viral headline. It laid the groundwork for something bigger. He wasn't just a tall kid playing basketball, he was a basketball player learning how to use his height. See, the game of basketball has always been a stage for giants, but Olivier Rioux doesn't just fit in, he resets the scale entirely. If Olivier Rioux suited up for an NBA game tomorrow, he wouldn't just edge out the tallest players, he'd dwarf them. Standing at a staggering 7'9", he clears Zach Edey, the league's current tallest player at 7'4", by a full 5 inches. Even Victor Wembanyama, the living basketball glitch, at 7'3", looks relatively shorter standing next to Rioux. Historically, only 2 men in the NBA have ever reached Rioux's territory, George Mirasan and Manute Bol, both listed at 7'7", still hold the title for the tallest NBA players ever. But Rioux is breathing down their necks. He's already eclipsed their height and is still only a teenager. But this kind of height isn't just rare, it's headline grabbing. 5 years ago, when Rioux was just 14, Guinness World Records officially named him the tallest teenager on the planet at 7'5". That same year, he started going viral for all the reasons you'd expect. Clips started circulating of Rioux dominating on the court, dunking with 2 hands without leaving the ground, blocking shots with minimal effort, and pulling down rebounds over crowds that had no chance. In one tournament, he spun into a reverse dunk with defenders draped all over him, barely breaking a sweat. The video cleared 1 million views in days, and NBA players took notice. Steph Curry saw the clip and summed it up in 3 words. So many questions. Joel Embiid followed up, more amused than surprised, tweeting, He has the nerves, the audacity to trash talk too, LMAO. At the Junior NBA World Championships in Ontario back in 2018, a 12-year-old Rioux walked into the gym and instantly drew a crowd. Jamal Murray spotted him from across the court and could not help but ask for a photo. That's been the pattern ever since. Wherever Rioux goes, he becomes the story. Whether it's casually dunking while flat-footed or being the only player not needing a ladder to cut down the nets after Florida won the SEC tournament, the man is a walking viral clip. And his recent moment in the spotlight was during the Florida Gators' White House visit to celebrate their national championship. Rioux created an instantly iconic photo, towering over President Donald Trump in the Oval Office. That said, recognizing his potential early, Rioux joined the prestigious Real Madrid Youth Academy, a program known for modeling elite basketball talent. Real Madrid isn't just a European basketball powerhouse, it's a launchpad for NBA stars. Luka Doncic came through their ranks and became one of the biggest names in the league. Alongside him, players like Drazen Petrovic, Bogdan Bogdanovic, Facundo Campazzo, and Gershon Yabusele all made their mark after training or playing there. For Rioux, this meant top-tier coaching and the chance to test himself against some of Europe's best young athletes, a rare opportunity for a North American teen. From there, Rioux transitioned to IMG Academy, one of the premier basketball pipelines in the United States. IMG is a proven incubator of NBA talent, with alumni including Mark Williams, Zach Edey, Anthony Simons, and Keontae George. The Academy's holistic approach, focusing on physical development, mental toughness, and academics, equips players to handle the rigors of professional basketball and life beyond the court. At IMG, Rioux followed a trajectory similar to Zach Edey's, who evolved from a baseball hopeful into an NCAA National Player of the Year and a top 10 NBA draft pick in 2024. Competing against a loaded national schedule and alongside high-level prospects, Rioux was rated as a 3-star recruit and made the deliberate choice to forego a scholarship offer from UC Irvine and instead walk on at Florida, betting on his unique physical tools and untapped potential to define his future. Now, while there are limited numbers from Rioux's time at IMG, his work with Canada's youth programs paints a clear picture of his progress. At the Under-16 FIBA Americas, he posted solid stats: 8.3 points, 10.3 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks per game in under 19 minutes. That's the impact on both ends, especially defensively, where his rim protection and rebounding stood out. His performance against Team USA was a highlight: 12 points, 12 boards, and 4 blocks against a squad loaded with future NBA lottery picks. That game wasn't just impressive, it was a statement about his potential. Then, in the 2023 FIBA Under-19 World Cup in Hungary, where at just 17, Rioux had limited minutes, but still pulled down 7 rebounds. In the final game against Japan, given more time on the floor, he delivered 10 points and 5 rebounds in 12 minutes, showing what's possible when he gets his opportunity. His recent showing at the 2024 Under-18 FIBA Americas was quieter, averaging 4.5 points, 4.5 rebounds, and 2 blocks. A reminder that his development is still ongoing and the raw tools are still being refined against elite international competition. Now, being 7'9" and weighing 305 pounds, navigating everyday life in a standard college dorm or apartment is a challenge in itself, let alone playing basketball at a high level. It's impressive that Rioux is coordinated enough to compete at the college level, and what's even more striking is that he may not be done growing. Looking at his game, his offense currently revolves around dribble handoffs and setting screens. He has good court vision, knows when to pass, and shows solid timing with his shot selection. However, he's still working on extending his shooting range and gaining confidence from further out. But in today's NBA, height alone won't get you far. The league has evolved from the era when dominant big men like Bill Russell, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and Shaquille O'Neal ruled the paint with sheer size and power. Now, with the game emphasizing pace, space, and efficiency, teams demand big men who can shoot, handle the ball, and create offense outside the paint. Dirk Nowitzki was the trailblazer, who proved big men could thrive by stretching the floor. Players like Giannis Antetokounmpo, have taken that further by becoming primary ball handlers and playmakers, leading their teams to championships. And Nikola Jokic has redefined the center position by combining elite passing, scoring, and basketball IQ in ways never seen before. While the NBA favors height, it's no easy path for players who tower over others. Being extremely tall often comes with its limitations. Many aren't fast enough, strong enough, or coordinated enough to compete at the highest level. Injuries and health issues frequently disrupt their careers. The very blessing of towering height can sometimes be a curse. Consider Robert Bobrovsky, who at 7'7" never made it to the NBA. Taco Fall and Slavko Vranes managed only brief tenures. Bol remains in the league because of his rare combination of size and guard-like skills at 7'3". And Wembanyama, he dominates not just because of his size, but because of his mobility, ball handling, and ability to create plays beyond the arc. Rioux, for now, is behind in some of these areas. His foot speed is slow, he has long strides but struggles with quickness and changing direction. It's relatively easy to cross him over or get past him. Defensively, if he camps in the paint, opponents can simply run 5-out offense and punish with open shooters. If he steps out, they can attack him off the dribble. For Rioux, there's still a long road ahead. Building strength, improving conditioning, enhancing coordination, and mastering change of direction will be essential. These qualities come naturally to many of his teammates, but for Rioux, they will require relentless work and dedication if he hopes to reach the NBA's highest level. At just 19 years old, Rioux is still very much a work in progress. With his redshirt season behind him, he'll be eligible to suit up for the Florida Gators in the 2025-26 season, giving him crucial time to develop his game and his body. Yes, the Gators' front court is already deep and talented, with players like 6'11" Condon opting to return for a third year instead of entering the NBA draft. There's also starting center Ruben Chinyelu, a 6'11", 260-pound force who also withdrew from draft considerations, and 7'1" Handlington, who made his return mid-season after recovering from a severe leg injury. That stacked front court means Rioux won't be rushed onto the court, but that's not a disadvantage. It gives him time to grow and refine his skills without the pressure of immediate playing time. As Gators head coach Todd Golden recently told the Orlando Sentinel, he's arguably the most unique prospect in college. He's 7'7.5" without shoes. Both our program and he understand it's a long road because he's different. Being a part of a successful program led by one of college basketball's brightest young coaches gives Rioux the best possible environment to prepare for the long journey ahead, one that could eventually lead him to the NBA. And speaking of the NBA, the idea of Rioux becoming the tallest player in league history isn't just wishful thinking. It's within the realm of possibility with the right development. The NBA landscape is evolving fast, and in 2025, mobility, shooting ability, and defensive versatility are no longer optional. They're essential. Height alone doesn't guarantee success or longevity evermore. Look at players like Victor Wembanyama and Chet Holmgren, both towering figures who move with guard-like agility. They've set the blueprint for what the modern NBA demands. For Rioux, making it at the next level will depend on how well he adapts. It's not just about getting stronger or faster, it's about sharpening his basketball IQ and mastering the subtle parts of the game. The truth is, many players with incredible size have struggled to find their footing in the NBA, but there are signs that Rioux's path could be different. Right now, he's rated higher than Zach Edey was at a similar stage in his development, which says a lot about his potential growth curve. By the time the 2029 NBA draft comes around, Rioux will be 23 or 24 years old, armed with years of intense training, proper nutrition, and valuable international experience. At that point, he could be ready to earn a spot on an NBA roster. If even one team takes a chance, Rioux won't just become the tallest player in NBA history, he could prove he's much more. With passion, relentless work, and the right opportunities, anything is possible. So, will Olivier Rioux become a basketball legend, or just another what if? Only time will tell. Drop your thoughts in the comments below, smash that like button, subscribe for more basketball deep dives, and I'll catch you in the next one.